So something very strange is happening at the moment. There's a real sea change on the discourse of the genocide in Gaza. And I think the right have seen the writing on the wall. Figures like Jordan Peterson are getting a lot of criticism for their support of Israel, even though it's kind of he's been with the Daily Wire since 2022, and now all of a sudden it's a problem. Again, they have no values. But also, I want to talk about Theo Von and a little bit about Joe Rogan and how all of a sudden, after 18 months of the onslaught on Gaza, suddenly it's a problem. Suddenly they care about this issue. And it was always inevitable because this has been happening for months now, over a year at least. And like the Iraq War, people were in massive support for the Iraq War. And then all of a sudden they weren't. And now, in retrospect, the left have been vindicated. It was a complete disaster. Over between 100 and 200,000 people killed. We're going to see the same in Gaza. And I want to go over a video of Theo Von because I think there's maybe genuine upset there, but also it's kind of a little too late. Too little, too late, as they say. Let's get straight into it.
I wanted to say something. There's been something that's just been kind of on my heart, and so I feel like I should bring it up. There is, we've had people on the podcast in the past to talk about it, and there's a conflict that's been happening in the Middle East. People know about it, between Israel and Palestine and some of the areas over there, the Gaza area they talk about. And I just think it feels to me, I don't know if it feels to me like it's a genocide that's happening while we're alive here in.
I think that language is kind of strange to me because the left have been saying this for like months now, over a year at least, pretty much since, they've been bombarding Gaza, Rafah. I mean, this has been going on for such a long time now, but why now? And again, I think you've seen the footage of children starving, like skeletons. You've seen all kinds. If you go on Twitter, there's all kinds of insane stuff. And I think I'm not convinced by this because Theo Von famously platformed and was a big part of Donald Trump winning. He's platformed JD Vance, Mark Zuckerberg, Jordan Peterson, all these right-wing figures. And ostensibly, he likes to present himself as a centrist. They always do. These right-wingers. Joe Rogan used to do it, and now he's more blatant. Tim Pool, Trigonometry. They always, like Andrew Schultz, they always present themselves as these like, oh yes, I'm an enlightened centrist. I'm above it all. But then they kind of talk to Donald Trump about, addiction and cocaine, as opposed to holding him account to his views on women, his treatment of women, his racism, his, January the 6th, calls for violence, relationship with Epstein. Why wasn't he saying that? Because he was trying to whether he did it consciously or not, I think he was trying to normalize and humanize Trump and be like, oh, he's just a normal guy. Let's just talk about normal things. Why? He's Donald Trump. There's a lot of questions to ask there. So let's continue the video.
In front of our lives. And I don't, sometimes I feel like I should say something. I'm not a geologist or geographer or anything like that, so I don't know a lot of some of it I do know though. Like I know the basics of the issues over there, but for me, it's just like how I feel like you see all these photos of people, just children, women, people, body parts, just people like putting their kids back together. And I just can't believe that we're watching that and that more isn't said about it. And so
Well, people have been talking about it for a long time. Just because you haven't, and again, he is he is political. Like, he likes to present himself as above the fray, but like, look at this. Like, he's had some of the biggest political commentators on. Like I said, Donald Trump, JD Vance. He's had all the big ones. Joe Rogan, he's been on there. Jordan Peterson. Like, he's acting like, oh, he doesn't know. Like, it's frustrating because I think this is good. I think obviously now this is good, but the damage has been done. Like, the genocide is still ongoing. Like, children are starving to death right now as we speak, as I speak. And obviously it's good. Like, overall, I am happy that he's realized this and he's talking about it. But why not a year ago or 18 months ago when the same thing was happening? Like, the same footage was there. It's really frustrating.
I'm not saying anyone else needs to say anything, but I think I'm just that more isn't said about it by me. So I just I want to be able to speak up about that. That I think we're watching probably like, you know, one of the sickest things that's ever happened. And I'm sorry if I've kind of haven't said about it. I've tried to talk about it and learn about it, but I don't know. Maybe I just want to. I just wanted to say something. I don't even know what to do. You know, and it's crazy because our country's also complicit in it. You know, it's in it and has been for a long time. And it's just kind of interesting because then you just realize, oh well, I'm a member of this country, but I'm just what we want sometimes.
Again, it is interesting. Like, I think there's some sincerity here. I think he's sorry. I do think he's sorry about not talking about it more, which I recognize that. I think that is good. But he interviewed Donald Trump 9 months ago, not that long ago, and did he talk about it then? I may be wrong. I doubt. Like, did he talk about Trump's support for Israel? Like, because again, Trump, they always had this narrative like, oh, Trump's the non-war guy, the non-interventionist guy. Well, he increased drone strikes over 14%. He bombed Somalia, Syria. Like, he continued the war machine. And also, he didn't end the Ukraine-Russian war. He said he was going to do it in 24 hours. So yeah, people say, oh yeah, he says a lot. But like, Trump is just like the rest. He is increasing military spending. And again, this is good, but it's not enough. It's not enough for Joe Rogan. Again, he's saying, like, oh no, it's like, well, you, you spoke to Donald Trump. And again, he has, you know, Douglas Murray called them out on this, but he has had people who are obviously anti Semitic. And I think the thing against, again, Jordan Peterson is another one. Like, all of a sudden, everyone on the right hates Jordan Peterson, even though for his links to the Daily Wire and his pro-Israel stance. Well, Jordan Peterson, first of all, has been with the Daily Wire since 2022, so why now all of a sudden? Also, Jordan Peterson has been pro-Israel and sympathetic. Like, he's not, like, why now? It's so strange. But it's this centrism, enlightened centrism, like somehow, oh, we're above the fray. But then you actually realize, oh no, we can't deny this now. Like, we can underplay it and not really talk about it. But when it's so blatant, it's like, oh yeah, we will, I wanted to say more, but it's not like I've got millions of subscribers. It's really not enough. Like, he's heartfelt, but like, he's got power. He really has. Like, he was partly responsible for the election of Donald Trump. And to act like now, like, oh, sorry guys, it's not quite enough for me.
Sometimes doesn't matter, you know, and you just have to be a member of a place, and your government is making other choices. So I don't know if I said that correctly or.
That is true. Obviously, I mean, individual citizens and the government, obviously, like, pretty much even the Democrats are pro-Israel. They will toe the line. The same in the UK, although we've seen a slight change, but again, too little, too late. But you have a powerful platform. He has is it 4 million subscribers at least? That's a lot of people. That's a lot of reach. That's just subscribers. His views will get tens of millions of, and that's powerful. Like, and maybe he doesn't realize that. And again, often you don't know the power of your reach, and you don't really realize like how influential you are. But surely he must be aware of like who's he platforming? Why is he doing it? Is it because of what reasons? Like with Joe Rogan, he said like he doesn't really care. Like I mean, these guys are pretty dumb. They play the not political. They'll just follow whatever the trends are. But it's like you can't do that. You have to have some kind of axiomatic values. You have to have some ethical values if you're going to do this and be like, okay, these are the ideas I represent. I think this is bad. And then go with that. You can't just be like, oh, yeah, there's been a genocide for 18 months now. But all of a sudden, yeah, it's a genocide. It's like, no one's convinced by that. Well, no one should be. And if you are and go, oh, never mind. It's okay, mate. It's okay. You're talking about it now. It's like, who's convinced by this?
I don't even know exactly what I said, but I just have, it's just like been making me really sick. And I feel like I just needed to say something that I think you don't have to think that. I'm not asking you to do anything. But I just have to say that so I'm not sitting by.
See, that's really interesting. This kind of, he's trying to play the field like, oh, if you don't, if you're pro-Israel, that's fine too, but I have to say it. And they always do this like centrism where like they don't really give their positions necessarily. You always see it like they kind of play both sides because that's what they do. And then it's like, well, I'm actually right wing, like, Trump and, JD Vance. You don't get to do this. Like, it doesn't work like that. I know it kind of does now, and that's why they're successful. Like, oh yeah, we're impartial. We're enlightened centrists. No, you're not.
There's that piece inside of me like, why wouldn't you, can you say something? There's people that can't even speak and you can say something, and so that's how I just had to just speak up. Anyway, I think maybe it's starting to make it about me there at the end, but yeah. So just praying for those people and just the grief that is all going to cause. You notice like, what are we doing? But and I know that this has happened to other ethnicities and other cultures. I know that it's happening to other places too. I just don't see that as much. And so, yeah, anyway.
So I am thankful we are seeing a sea change. People are recognizing, people are using the G word, rightly so, because other context you would, like the amount of people that have been slaughtered, the children have been orphaned, the just the destruction, the level of murder, and the fact that Israel won't let UN investigators in, won't let journalists in. This is a blight on America, the UK, and the whole world. And people are finally waking up to it. But now we need to make sure that action is actually taken. We need to arrest Netanyahu and his cronies. And, instead of just going like, oh, it's really sad, like Labour are doing this like now, oh, we're going to not have trade deals. We're not going to, like, what are you doing? You need to withdraw arms. Stop the excuses for like, oh, we can't withdraw arms because you know, it's in a pool of arms. No, you can do it. You have the political power to do it. Don't act like you don't have agency, like you can't stop this. Now is the time to recognize what's happening and take action. Like this, but it won't happen. So again, we have this virtue signal like, oh, it's bad, it's bad. What are we going to do about it in the West? What is the UK and America going to do? What is Trump going to do? What is Keir Starmer going to do? And I worry it's going to be very little. And we're going to see this continuing. And then people will be like, how did we let this happen? We know exactly how we let it happen. So On that depressing note, hit the like button and I'll see you next time.